Welcome to the subject software engineering. At present, we are studying requirement engineering process chapter, and today's topic is requirements management. Students, you very well know this is the fourth sub process in the requirement engineering process. The requirements for large software system are always changing. Students, for any software system, as the time passes, the requirements change, and it is very true in case of large software systems. Point number 2, as the problem cannot be fully defined, the software requirements are bound to be incomplete. Yes, students. Initially, every user is not able to completely grasp the problem. So he is not able to define the requirements in the initial stage. Point number 3, once system has been installed, new requirements inevitably emerge. So students, as the system is installed, as time passes, the new requirements are to be addressed. Why do requirements change? 1. Large systems usually have diverse user community having different requirements and priorities. And priorities change as time changes. Yes, students. In case of large system, you have got different types of end user. Every end user class has their own priorities and requirements. And it is the job of the system developer to define the priorities, but as the time passes, the priorities change. That is why you have to introduce this change also. Point number 2, the people who pay for the system and the users of the system are different. After delivery of the system, new features have to be added to meet the goals. Students, you very well know it is the finance people who are going to pay for the system, whereas it is the end user who is going to use the system, or it is a particular department who is going to use this system. So these two people belong to different category, and after the system has been delivered, you have to add new features as per the demand of the using community. Point number 3, business and technical environment of the system changes after installation, and these changes must be reflected in the system. Students, you very well know after the system has been installed, there could be possibility of new addition of the hardware, new software, things might have changed, government rules might have gone into changes. So all this should be incorporated in the new system, and that is why change is required. One needs to establish formal process for making change proposals and linking these two requirements. Students, you very well know the changes cannot be done. There should be some procedure. So formal procedure that should be there. One should prepare a change proposal form for this. Point number 2, one should start planning how to manage changing requirements during the requirement elicitation process. So students, how one should make change if there is a need to change, this thought should be taken into consideration when we carry out requirement elicitation process. So scope for changing should be considered while carrying out requirement elicitation process. This diagram depicts the requirement evolution. In this diagram, you find 4 rectangles. Towards right, you find first rectangle mentioning initial understanding of the problem. Below that, you have got a rectangle mentioning initial requirements. Towards right, you got one rectangle on the top mentioning changed understanding of problem. and in the right bottom you have got changed requirements, and at the bottom in the horizontal you have got timeline. So students, initial understanding of the problem, okay, and according to the initial understanding of the problem we identify the initial requirements, but as the time changes, okay, new changes have to be introduced. In that case we have developed new understanding or changed understanding of the problem, and accordingly we have to change our requirements. So this diagram gives you the evolution of requirements, how they change. There are two classes of requirement based evolution perspective. Okay, so one is enduring requirements and second is volatile requirements. First we will consider enduring requirement. These are relatively stable requirements that derive from the core activity of the organization, which relate to directly to the domain of the system. For example, in hospital, okay, the requirement related to doctors, nurses and patients and the treatment are stable. So enduring requirements means which do not change as per the time, and these requirements, students, relate to the domain, okay, of the activity. For example, here we have taken hospital. In case of hospital, okay, the role of a doctor, the role of a nurse, the treatment, the patients, all these, okay, do not change over time. Second category, volatile requirements. These are the requirements that are likely to change during the system development and after its installation. Students, volatile requirements are different from enduring requirements. Volatile requirements change as per the time. For example, requirements based on government healthcare policy. If the government healthcare policy changes, we have to introduce this change. Students, will stop here and more details we will take up in the next class. Thank you.